And welcome back to the Hot Lap. We are talking more Verstappen rumours about going to Mercedes. Christian Horner, there's rumours that he might have to resign. What is that about? Also, we look at Lewis Hamilton's chances. He reflects on his chances. A bit of a clip from the F1 special that's currently on YouTube for free from Sky, which they always do, which is really, really good. This is my favourite Sky show of the year coming up. And a few shots of Lando. Max Verstappen as well, mobbed by the media, all this and more, including that all-important weather. Now, we've spoken about that all-important weather, and here's the weekend schedule first. So we've got FP1, 12:30 to 1:30. This is UK time. FP2, 4 till 5. That's quite late. But the race does start late as well. FP3, 11:30 till 12:30. Qualifying starting at 3 till 4. And funny enough, that's exactly the time that the race is going to start. 3 o'clock. I mean, imagine that. Was it 3 o'clock last year? I'll have to look. That's really, really, late. So, as you can see, classic UK, classic Silverstone. Sunny on Friday, potentially rainy on Saturday, rainy on Sunday. So the forecast, rain. The last time it rained, Lewis Hamilton won in a Mercedes. Not quite out of nowhere. We had a British 1, 2, 3 in qualifying, which was absolutely amazing. And we nearly had a British 1, 2, 3 in the race. So had it not been for Verstappen's absolute monumental effort to get up to second, Lando Norris choosing the wrong tyres, Lewis Hamilton holding on those wrong tyres on the softs, stopping Verstappen, beating him. It was an amazing, amazing victory. But this was Max Verstappen today being absolutely mobbed by the media. I mean, look at that. Crazy. Poor Max. Can he even breathe? Look at all those phones. How much are they worth? Take them all, Max. So this was Martin Brundle. He giving Lewis Hamilton a compliment. And he said, thanks, man. It means a lot coming from you. You don't have many positive things to say. This was on Twitter by, I think, FIA Girly Danny. But I thought this is the clip from the Sky Sport, from the Sky stuff, which I thought was quite interesting. Only 15 seconds.
That image of you in the black coat in the square, the Schumacher Square at Ferrari, one of the most iconic photographs ever in Formula One, and what a shot.
Thanks, man. That means a lot coming from you. You don't,
well, I'm not exactly
have too many positive things to always say.
That's not true.
Well, that's not true. Martin does say a lot of positive things, but he's right about the iconic photo of Lewis Hamilton outside Maranello. Sadly, I should have really shown that, but I don't have it now, but it is absolutely iconic, and it was good. And yeah, that photo is absolutely amazing. But this was Lewis Hamilton on his chances of another Silverstone win. He kind of downplays him a lot, and he thinks a podium is potentially the absolute maximum that he can get.
I'm here at Silverstone time and time again. Do you think there's any chance for this to repeat itself this weekend?
I really don't know, and I would never want to jinx it, even if it was. So, of course, in my heart, I'm hoping just for a strong weekend. I've not had a podium yet, so this would be the place. This would be a really special place in order to have that. So I'm really counting on the amazing support we have here to hopefully try and make the difference.
I'm here at
there you
Silverstone.
Go. Counting on the support, but I think he's been quite realistic. That he needs something special to win. Could that be the rain? Maybe. We know how good he is in the wet. He was very good last year when George lost a bit of confidence, I think, compared to him. So this was Lando Norris at the Monster Energy. Obviously, Lando being a Monster athlete, sponsored by Monster at Silverstone. Wow. I mean, look at the livery and the sounds. Now, there's going to be a Lando stand at Silverstone as well, if you didn't know. I think we've already spoken about it. But yeah, absolutely amazing. More on that probably in another video. This is the McLaren's Chrome. Here it is. Along with all the other Chrome cars. They're going Chrome. Albeit, like everyone else has said, I think it would be great if the whole car was Chrome. Having said that, does that mean it's going to be more weight? I'm not really too sure. I still think it looks awesome. It doesn't look as awesome as the Vodafone ones, though. That's the sad thing. But I think the Chrome is still looking good. Obviously, Google Chrome, McLaren Chrome, you get it. The marketing. This was Lando Norris again. you know, I think at the Monster stand or the Lando stand, giving out, yes, his can of Monster is now. I think you can buy it in the shops now as well. Some people have. I've looked on X about people buying the Lando cans in the shop, which is interesting. Now this is Max Verstappen. This is where we get into the rumours. As promised at the beginning of the video, finally we're here. Now the question was, is there any truth about your representatives talking to Toto? And Max basically says, is there any truth? To be honest, I have nothing more to add than that. But he's not denying it, though, is he? And that's what's interesting. Let's see what he's got to say.
Toto, the story of your representatives talking to Toto.
Is there any truth? I mean, to be honest with you,
yeah,
I have nothing more to add. To that what I said
politician.
last week.
Nothing more to add.
Anyway, I have a contract with the team, and we just focus on performance. We want to improve. That's where my worry lays, and that's what we, try to work on.
Just try.
The story of your
there we go. That's what they're working on. Politician through and through. I can't really blame him because he's getting asked the same question a lot, and we know when Max gets asked the same question a lot, he gets a bit upset. But more on that story though is this article here that I saw in Planet F1. Max Verstappen grilled on shock Christian Horner resignation rumours. Now, before we start looking at the article, the rumour, and it was a rumour. It's not been confirmed, obviously. The rumour was that Max would stay at Red Bull if Christian Horner had less power and or resigned was the rumour. How true that is, I have absolutely no idea. You could say where there's no smoke, there's fire. Something is going on. I think that's a bit extreme though. But Max Verstappen says he doesn't know anything about the rumours that Red Bull principal Horner could resign from his role. And now it comes amid mounting rumours that Verstappen could walk away from Red Bull and join Mercedes. As Ted Kravitz said in Austria, and we've said on a couple of occasions, if Verstappen is not in that team this year, they're potentially last in the Constructors' Championship. That's how much Max means to them, albeit, we said, that car is very much a Max Verstappen car. And so despite being officially under contract until the end of the 2028 season, Verstappen's been heavily linked with this move to Mercedes. And it's believed that Verstappen can activate an exit clause if he is lower than fourth in the Drivers' Championship after next month's Hungarian Grand Prix, the final race before that summer break. Now, Verstappen, as we know, he currently occupies third in that standings with a 9-point lead over George Russell. And a report in Italy on Wednesday claimed that Verstappen is close to sealing a deal with Mercedes, but other people came out and were like, yeah, not quite the case. Now, if it came after Russell, whose contract expires at the end of this year, was talking about Mercedes talking to Max, and it just kind of like in Austria after that, it just absolutely all blew up. Now, a separate report in a German publication has since claimed that links between Verstappen and Mercedes could be used, and this sounds, I think, a bit more realistic, could be used to apply pressure on Horner, who was involved in a high-profile standoff with Verstappen's father in 2024, and a high-profile standoff with more than one Red Bull employee, let's be honest. But Verstappen Sr. called for Horner to resign in the aftermath of last year's Bahrain Grand Prix, saying the team would explode if Horner were to stay. Now, Red Bull has since lost the likes, and they've lost Adrian Newey, Jonathan Whitley to Aston Martin, and Audi. And it seems is Verstappen the last trifecta of that threesome, maybe. But his hopes of retaining the 2025 title have taken a bit of a blow the last couple of races. And the four-time champion, he trails Piastri by 61 points. And it was claimed by AMUS that Verstappen's camp had been pushing, and here's the rumour, for either Horner to be replaced nor his power to be significantly diminished going forward, potentially through the hiring of Red Bull of a joint leader. Peter Breyer, and he's Red Bull's chief executive, and former McLaren team principal, you've heard this before, Andreas Seidel, who was really the foundation to bringing McLaren to where they are now, and obviously Mr. Stella completed that process. Now, Seidel mentioned two potential contenders to join Red Bull. Now, speaking to the media on Thursday ahead of this weekend's British Grand Prix, he distanced himself from suggestions that Horner could be forced to step down. Asked if there was any truth, he replied, I don't know anything about that, but he wouldn't really comment on it even if there was a thing, and pressed on how seriously he's considering his options. Verstappen reiterated his claim that he's not thinking about his F1 future, not denying it, and he said, I have nothing else to add compared to what I said last week, to be honest. He said, last week we didn't have a great result, and he just ended up talking about the car, which I thought was interesting. Now, we'll get into Zack Brown in a second. This is a question that got posed to George, which I thought was quite interesting.
A question to George. You said no news about your renewal, no other option. But George,
about his contract,
knowing that your team is also speaking with another driver or other drivers, is it right for you to check out other option beside Mercedes for yourself?
I mean, every team has 2 seats available, and
They do.
it's normal that every team is considering what the future holds.
Very pragmatic, isn't he?
And I don't take that personally because I made it clear from the beginning I'm happy to be teammates with anybody. So, of course, there's lots of...
Now, what's interesting is teammates George Russell, Max Verstappen. I've already said, yes, Verstappen is probably going to be favourite coming into that. He's a 4-time world champion. I think George is very underrated in that respect. And although I'm saying it might not happen, I wouldn't be surprised if George Russell did, at least in their first year together, get the better of Max Verstappen more often than not, simply because he knows the team. He is very fast. He was very good against Lewis Hamilton.
Lots of conversations, lots of rumours, and all of these are being pointed towards me. But, you know, from my side, that isn't really going to be the case. You know, I want to continue with Mercedes into
Very clear
into
about
the
that.
future.
From the offs, always.
The fact is, you know, Toto has never let me down. He's always given me his word, but he's also got to do what's right for his team.
Understandably.
Which includes me, but it also includes, you know, the thousands of people who work for Mercedes. For me, it's nothing to worry about because, I don't think I'll be going anywhere, and whoever my teammate will be, it doesn't concern me either. So.
Now, does he know something we don't? Is it Kimi that's going to be on the chopping block rather than George Russell? I mean, that's really interesting and savage for Mercedes. I've always said I think Mercedes are going to keep the driver lineup for next year. One of the other rumours is Mercedes offered George a 1+1 year contract. He doesn't want that, and I get that. He wants a bit more. He wants a bit more suitability. He wants more stability, even not suitability. But you could put things in your contract. George could say, for example, if I'm leading the championship by halfway, or within a win, or within 25 points of leading the championship at the halfway point next year, you automatically get that. You know, the contracts can say anything you want. Yes, they are worth the paper they are printed on. But if George has a really strong year, and so does Kimi next year, and they're fighting for that title, why would Mercedes want Max Verstappen? Why? Because we've done a whole article about it. But Max Verstappen is very expensive, and let's be fair, rightly or wrongly, money talks. Now, Zack Brown had an interesting point. They were basically saying, if you were offered Max Verstappen, would you take him? Let's see what he said.
If you were offered Max Verstappen for next year, you'd stick with the driver lineup you have.
100%.
100%.
100%.
2 years?
Oh,
100%.
3 years.
100% my guys.
Yeah.
I love my guys.
Nice.
So I think they're
I love my guys.
23, as fast as anyone. Great guys.
They are the two most equal drivers I personally have ever seen in a Grand Prix team.
And their personalities work so well together.
They really do, don't they?
They're different characters. They're both awesome, and it's just, to me, and I think this is what's driven McLaren's success here recently. It's our culture, it's our people, and that starts with your drivers. And so if you can get.
So that's quite interesting. So he's very confident with his drivers, and I completely agree. Yes, as much as Lando gets us slagged off over the last year and a half. Year, let's say 12 months, about not being able to win the championship in the best car. Remember, Max did have a massive lead. And when Max got the massive lead, he pretty much almost had zero competition until about a third to quarter of the way in that championship, where Lando was fighting all the time. When Lando's car came good, it was Max, it was Red Bull, it was Mercedes, it was Ferrari as well that were winning. And I think people forget that. Although, yes, Lando did make lots of mistakes. And when you look at it, you could probably find enough points where he should have won that championship. I'm just, trying to keep that equilibrium.
Get that vibe in the garage where you've got Lando and Oscar, who are obviously fiercely competitive with each other, but are teammates and team players. I don't want to change anything.
Yeah. And in a way, they're so different. It's like a really good marriage. Yeah. I don't know if
the odd couple. I'm not sure I'd go quite that.
No,
but yeah.
But you know what I mean.
Yeah, if you had two Zachs in the room, that's a disaster.
It's an issue. Two Oscars, maybe you
might be able to get away with two Oscars.
He's quite safe.
But it's like Andrea and myself. We're kind of the way we run the Formula One team. Andrea and I have very complementary skill sets and very.
There you go. Absolutely brilliant. But let's leave you with the potential dodgy forecast, as I'm going to be asking. Well, I ask every time, if you've made it to the end, thank you very much. If you're not subscribed, please consider it. It will make me smile. Hit that subscribe button if you've enjoyed this video. Until then, we'll no doubt speak to you soon. Thank you very much. And above all else, stay safe. And if you're at Silverstone, yes, I'm very jealous. But if you're at Silverstone, going to Silverstone, have an absolutely awesome time. My thumbs up. You're going to have an amazing time. It's going to be an amazing weekend. Get a poncho, though, for Saturday and Sunday, just in case. See you later. This is when I pressed the wrong button. And yes, done it.